I went out of my body like a zombie. I hid behind a deadpan expression and a mask of makeup. I wrote poetry and I fought him. "You were a difficult child," my mother told me. "Why didn't you report him?" I asked her. "Oh, at that time, it wasn't required by the law. I did wonder what he was doing all those hours in your room with the doors closed." Convinced that he would soon kill me, I ran, first finding shelter with friends, then, after reporting to the authorities, temporarily staying in another friend's home. Realizing he could no longer stifle my screams, my father had a nervous breakdown and checked himself into a psychiatric hospital. My mother weathered all this with a strange indifference, replacing fact with fantasy. As her husband wrestled with a nervous breakdown, she was making arrangements to have her daughter locked away, and all the while counting her blessings, because that very week she was one of the finalists for the Housewife of the Year. Though I had committed no crime, I was incarcerated in a Magdalene Laundry run by nuns, using the slave labor of young and troubled women. Surrounded by concrete, I was unable to commune with nature. I had never known such loneliness. The nuns forbid the use of my name. I chose another and was baptized in disinfectant. There, among others less fortunate than me, I was forced to accept the unacceptable, the complete loss of freedom, and the totally circumscribed existence. Forced to work with the thunderous, sometimes hand-crushing machinery, treated as defiled, I buried my defiance deep inside. I tried to die. Encouraged to discontinue my education, I insisted that because I was only 14, education was my right. I was allowed a few hours off from work in the laundry to complete a correspondence course. Briefly, a kind old woman supervised my studies. I was so used to the nun's condemnation that her acceptance amazed me. She affirmed my right to hope with a strengthening sureness, and she was gone. After my release, I felt tarnished, branded, alien. I told very few, believing that those who had not experienced such things could not understand. My parents separated. A prolonged divorce case followed. My father, wearing my innocence as his own, tried to disparage me. They discussed my private parts in open court. I was numb. I sought family among friends, questioned authority, and wanted to overturn the world with my bare hands. By the end of my 17th year, I'd saved enough money to leave